American citizens, if this bill goes through, goes up. The Congressional Budget Office also concluded that if this bill passes, interest rates go up. And you saw the total amount of accumulated debt. Now, that's what the CBO is saying. The CBO is sometimes right, they're sometimes wrong. I've seen instances where I agreed with it, instances where I disagreed with it. I am very uncomfortable, and I've said this publicly many times, ratifying with my vote illegal conduct. I don't think that that is something don't get me wrong, I am not anti-immigration. My view is that we should allow into our country, let me finish, let me finish, ma'am, let me finish. Wait a minute. I'll let you have a follow-up. I will let you have a follow-up. Ma'am, if we're going to have a communication, that means your turn. Your turn is to be quiet.
Let him speak. Let him finish. Right.
That's what we want, ma'am. We want an application process.
Immigration and illegal
We want an
immigration.
application process, ma'am.
That is correct. Let me give you where I am on immigration. I support, wait a second, time out. We're going to have a town hall. That means that people have to respect other people's right to communicate. And when I'm making my remarks, I did not interrupt the little girl that you brought up here. I did not interrupt you as you made your remarks. And I'd appreciate a similar kindness. And if you want to have a second comment, well, I've allowed that so far, sometimes third and fourth and fifth comments. But my view on immigration, given our financial condition as a country, is we should have a system that allows people into our country who we believe are going to generate more in tax revenue than they're going to consume through all these welfare giveaway programs. And it might be that those people that we allow into our country lawfully are those that have a special skill set that our economy needs. It might be that they have intellect or academic achievement that our economy needs, or it might be that they have wealth that they can bring into our country that can be seed money for starting businesses and creating jobs, or expanding businesses that are already here. There are many factors that can be looked at. But we cannot continue as we have been, where illegal aliens, according to a number of studies, are net tax consumers to the tune of, depending on which one you look at, anywhere from $500 billion to $99 billion a year, just depending on what you look at. Okay? Immigration prior to 1960 worked very well because people who came here were expected to support themselves and their families. They were not living off of the hard labor of other people by taking advantage of all the federal government giveaway programs. Now, to a very large degree, those immigrants who are coming here are coming in part because the federal government is paying them to come here. Okay?
Paying them.
And when you have 4 consecutive $1 trillion deficits, and you're looking at a $700 to $800 billion deficit this year, we've got to be smarter than that. And now, what's the magnitude of the problem? Well, let me use Mexico as an example. There was a Pew Hispanic Center poll, and I hope I got the name right. It might be the Pew Hispanic Research Wing of the Pew Hispanic Center. Nonetheless, they did a survey of Mexicans. And in the country of Mexico, there are tens of millions who would come here illegally if they thought they could get away with it. Around the globe, there are hundreds of millions of foreigners who would love to come to America, which quite frankly is a real compliment to our country, and perhaps also says some rather remarkable things about the country that they are in. Given those large numbers of people who want to move to the United States of America lawfully, I submit that we need to have a smarter years, whatever the case may be, and you're in the hundreds of thousands coming here illegally. Now, to make the contrast, why is the tail wagging the dog? These few 100,000 people a year that come in here illegally, we're giving them special treatment, preferential treatment, in contrast to all the people who are law-abiding. And I just don't think that that's smart public policy. But that's where I am. I certainly understand the compassion that is involved in this issue. Certainly, I think everyone in this room has compassion for the plight of people who are in a different country where poverty is abject, it's everywhere, or where the government is dysfunctional, or where crime is rampant. And you certainly can sympathize with the situation that they are in. And I sympathize with the situation there. I don't blame these folks for trying to better themselves, but my job is to represent American citizens. And that's what I try to do to the best of my ability, understanding that we need to have an immigration policy, but it needs to be one that works. Did you have any follow-up? Or
I'm
go to the next?
a U.S. citizen also, sir. So you are my, I am your constituent. I am from,
You're calling the board, not all.
So I am your constituent. So as a U.S. citizen, I have a right to come and
Yes,
voice my
ma'am.
opinion, sir. And, I used to be an undocumented person. I came to this country without proper authorization at the age of 6. I wouldn't have been allowed, sir. I didn't have a dollar in my pocket, sir. Under the immigration laws, I would have been a XX rated no person who will not benefit the economy of the United States if I let you in. As a child, right? I'm a college graduate in mathematics, which, by the way, a lot of people around here aren't, sir. Okay? And I have a really good job because I went to college and I studied hard and passed my calculus 3 exam. Hard as it was, sir. Right? I did not take welfare. As an undocumented person, I can vouch I did not take Medicaid or food stamps or WIG. What else? Section 8 housing. What else is out there? I don't know what else is out there. Whatever else, except, I'm going to be honest, except public education.
If every immigrant was like you,
And we are, sir.
and being
Yes, sir.
productive,
We are.
and adding
We are.
more to our country's tax revenue than consuming, and it'd be wonderful. But the fact of the matter is, not everyone is producing more than they are consuming. Now, that's also true of a lot of American citizens who are born here. Okay? But I appreciate your comment.